Are you thinking about moving abroad? If you are, you're not alone. More and more women over the age of 50 are ditching the traditional path. Like we've done all that shit and we are over it. We've done the 9 to 5. We tend to be at an age where, like, we want a little adventure and fun, especially for those of you who may be single or thinking of becoming single soon, and you just want to change things up. But there are also some big mistakes that many people make when moving abroad. And my hope is to help you avoid those mistakes from the get go. And I know my name is Mindy. I made this big move at the age of 56 alone to Costa Rica. So I'm sharing this information firsthand with the knowledge that I've gained from living the experience. And who better to share than someone who is living the actual experience? But if you're thinking of moving abroad, hats off. I am so excited for you, and I'm so excited to help you out on this journey however I can. In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 things that you must know before you make this move, things that maybe no one else is talking about. Plus, I'm going to share the mindset around making a big move like this. There can be a lot of fear involved. So mindset is really important if we really want to experience the most that we can out of this big adventure that we're going on. If you don't know me, my name is Mindy, and I help women over the age of 50 break free from their limitations so that they can create a life that they absolutely love, no matter where that is. That could be where you are right now, but it may include moving abroad. And if it does, I want to help you avoid some of those common mistakes, because this can be the most amazing adventure of your life. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. At the same time, I've seen so many people turn around and move back to typically the States, is where most of my friends are from, but they move back because they're struggling either mentally or financially. They really weren't prepared for the move in the way that they thought they were. So the first tip I want to share with you is don't overthink it. Trust your gut. Just take the leap. If your heart is calling you to a new life, don't let fear or over planning hold you back. Now, over planning is something that I see in so many of my clients, whether it's making a big move or starting a business. We love to plan as humans, but we don't always like jumping into the abyss, right? So we really want to stop overthinking, just take the leap, and then figure it out on the way. I want you to see this as a big adventure. Don't see this as something that's scary or stressful, even down to learning a new language. See it as an adventure, something that's going to stretch you into the next level of who you are. It's going to stretch your ability to take on new things and to not let fear stop you. My second tip is to rent before you buy. So I see so many people, and they're again coming from the real estate business. I saw it in Florida too. So many people would move to Florida thinking that they were moving into their forever home, only to get there and realize that, guys, it's smoking hot in Florida most of the year. So you really want to try out the place that you're thinking of moving to. So many people move to Costa Rica thinking, wow, the beach, they're coming from the colder areas and they just want to live at the beach. But I'm telling you, we are 10 degrees off of the equator. It's smoking hot at the beach. But there are other things. I live up in the mountains. We have amazing wind, like hurricane strength wind for several months out of the year. I wasn't expecting that. I bought this house not knowing that there's about 3 months out of the year where every night it sounds like a hurricane is ripping through, ready to rip my roof off of my house. So you never know what that place is going to be like unless you stay there for a while. Now, I did stay in this area for a month in an Airbnb, which I would highly recommend, because when you're staying for more than 30 days, typically you can get anywhere from a 30, 40 to a 50% discount. Test out different locations if you can. I actually traveled all around Costa Rica. I was still considering Europe, but when this house just happened to come to me, I manifested it, and I couldn't say no, because I looked at it like, even if it's just an investment, I want something here. I love this area so much, despite the big wins. So really rent first. And if you can stay in a place for more than a month, or if a month is your maximum, do that and talk to the expats about these little things like Scorpions. We have scorpions here in Costa Rica. Now, luckily, where I'm at, they're not that prevalent, but there are some places where they are. Snakes, the different animals. I have a big rainforest right here, and we have all kinds of animals that we may not have in the United States, like pumas. One of my friends was telling me they had a puma in their yard the other day. So, it may not be for you to live in an environment that has these kind of animals. You want to rent first and really get to know the place, and then move around the country, because you want to know what is the community like, both the expat community and the local community. Now, the third mistake, and this one could be a very costly mistake, is don't rush into getting your residency right away. Yes, having your residency has its perks, especially if you're looking for some sort of dual citizenship. But by applying too soon in the wrong country, it could cost you a lot of money, and there can be a lot of mistakes. You have to make sure that you have a great attorney. There again, you can ask around your expat community. Some countries do require that you live in the country for a certain period of time before you can even apply. So you really want to enjoy the flexibility of whatever your visa allows you to stay. So here in Costa Rica right now, you can stay for up to 6 months. But I've seen so many people who have applied for residency and ended up moving back to the United States. And that's just money out the window. You want to make sure that before you spend the money on the attorney, go through all the paperwork of applying for your residency, make sure that this is where you want to be. So my fourth tip is to step out of the expat bubble, right? It's so easy to stay around the friends who are comfortable, the ones who are, they're speaking the same language. We have the same maybe political views. We have the same cultural habits. We celebrate the same holidays. But when you're moving abroad, you really want to step into the adventure of this, because you're living in this new land. You want to experience the new culture. And if you're only hanging out with expats, you're missing out on that rich cultural experience. You're missing out on some really amazing connections and the personal growth that comes from immersing yourself in that culture. Really want to immerse yourself in learning the language, making some local friends, and embracing this amazing adventure. Because honestly, like, how badass is it that you are thinking of moving abroad? That's a big deal. So have fun. So tip number 5, now this one I want you to take serious. Be smart about who you allow into your space. So especially if you're a single woman thinking of moving abroad, you just have to be a little more aware. So I live a little more remote. I do not have taxis coming to my house. I just don't. I don't tell a lot of people where I live. Now, I do have a very safe circle of local friends. And of course, they're allowed to come over and we have fun together. I discovered some of these people through other expat friends or through volunteering that I've done. So just know that you want to be smart about who you allow in, because most crimes, especially in a country that is not considered a first world country, are crimes of opportunity. They're typically not here to hurt you, but they will. I mean, think about your iPhone. An iPhone in a country like this is a big deal. Our earbuds. So I don't want you to be paranoid, but I want you to be aware and trust your instincts. Don't flash your valuables around. And like I said, just, especially if you're a little more remote or you don't know a lot of people where you're moving to, as a single woman, just be very careful and be very conscientious, even with the taxi drivers or the Uber drivers. So in many countries, you cannot bring in a taser or your pepper spray or that type of thing. So like I said, you really just want to be aware and, know some people, get to know some people who you can trust in that area. And typically, that's pretty easy to do, especially if you've rented an Airbnb for a month and you're really getting to know people. Tip number 6 is to drop the fairy tale. Every country has its quirks. If you're moving because you think this new place is magically going to fix your problems, probably won't. Now, I said probably. because for me, it actually did fix my problems. So I was so burnout on just the culture that I was living in Florida. I was burnout in real estate, but also the consumerism and the traffic and all of it. So when I moved to Costa Rica, I felt like my whole nervous system was just kind of like, whew, girl, you're home. And I was able to relax and I was able to breathe for the first time in a long time. So just be aware that it may or may not be the thing that does that for you, but why not try, right? So the key is to have a flexible mindset. Just see this as an adventure, love the adventure that you're on and have fun with it. Know that not everything's going to work out the way that you had planned. You may have things that go wrong while you're on this trip. It may cost more money than you thought it was going to cost, but just have fun, relax, and know that this is the biggest adventure of your life. Like, you are so badass for taking this on. So, tip number 7 is have more money saved up than what you think you're going to need. Unexpected expenses do and will happen. It's just the nature of being human. So, maybe flight prices go up. Maybe, you spend more on your Airbnb or on restaurants and food than what you were originally planning on spending. And you never know, a medical surprise could come up. Of course, we hope that that wouldn't happen, but you want to have enough that it's going to cover any of these things should they come up. Now, at the same time, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, wherever it is that you're at, and you don't have any of these things going on wherever it is that you're at, maybe just throw caution to the wind and go do it. Have fun. Understand that, no matter what age you are, you can create a digital income and work from anywhere in the world. And maybe moving abroad is exactly where you need to be in order to find the space to create that new income in your life. Only you know what is right for you. So if you've been thinking about moving abroad, or maybe it's a new idea for you, I would love to hear in the comments below where in the world you are thinking of moving to. Like, what country is calling to you? And if it's something that you've been thinking about for a while and you just haven't done it, let me know why. Is it the mindset that's holding you back? Or is it just right now in your life, it's physically impossible? Maybe you have aging parents, or you still have kids at home, or, you know, you're in a 9 to 5 job and you really just cannot break free of that right now.